Hello, hello, wherever you are in the world. My name is Agnes van Rhijn. I am a life and business reinvention mentor at Success on Your Own Terms and the founder of the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show. Today, it is my privilege to interview Tracy Revell. Tracy is an embodiment, fitness, and confidence coach who uses the words love your body, rock your life as a mantra for those who desire more confidence within themselves and in their bodies. She empowers people to become and be more comfortable in their own skin, body, and body, mind, spirit, so that they can go from a place that is less than loving themselves to an epic place of love and joy at who they are within themselves and in their bodies. Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, Tracy. How are you?
I'm good, Agnes. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Well, obviously, we're not living in the same countries. You seem to be warm and I'm freezing cold.
Yeah.
But that's the fun with those interviews. So for you, it's morning. For me, it's not evening yet, but not far. And so I will discover you because I don't know you together with the listeners. So tell me more about your story, about how you started your journey and where it led you to.
How I started my journey. My journey really has started my whole life. I mean, what I'm doing has really, I believe, been my mission in the world and in my life. My journey started when I was 9 3/4. My mother died, and my brother was 5. He had just turned 5 days before she died.
Wow.
And my father had no idea how to deal with it, and it started this shuffle of housekeepers and people we stayed with, and my dad trying to figure it all out, and me trying to fit in, and basically just learn to go along to get along. The first housekeeper we had was a maid that cleaned my dad's office, and we drove around with her all day in her van until my father could find somebody to live in the house and take care of us.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we had 3 housekeepers. And then my stepmother moved in about 6 months after my mom died, and my father married her 11 months after my mom died. So again, I learned how to just get along to get along. My father was extremely hurting, and I was a big-time daddy's girl, and so I was always trying to figure out how to make everything okay, make everything fit, make him okay. And I gained a lot of weight after my mom died.
Mm-hmm.
So, I internalized a lot of it, and we, back then, it wasn't okay to talk about. They never even told us she was dying. It just wasn't okay to talk about. So, again, I was 10. I got put on my first diet by my stepmother at 12, and it was a contest with her, and she promptly let me know after the contest when I won that she let me win. So it started this mind game with that.
Yeah.
I started working out and discovered, eating vegetables and eating healthy, and lost a lot of weight at like 15. And then I discovered that if I ate anything bad, I could just get rid of it. So I started throwing up. And I just thought I was just getting rid of bad food because I was a healthy person.
Yeah.
And then I started teaching aerobics at 16 years old. I've been in the fitness and the body business my whole life since then.
Yeah.
So 45 years old. So I've been doing fitness and bodies in one way, shape, or form forever. So there's been just an evolution. My pelvis is tilted and rotated up as well, which a lot of women have that because of how our pelvis is shaped and how our body is fit together. So my back went out for the first time at like 23, like on my back, flat, not able to move, extreme pain at 23. So it also became a journey of healing my body and how to balance everything. I got a post-rehab certification, corrective holistic exercise kinesiology certification, American College of Sports Medicine. And then I started getting into the mind-body connection. I got a Kundalini yoga certification. I discovered Nia, which is a body, mind, emotion, spirit fusion fitness class. So really learned about embodiment and learning how to listen to yourself instead of being directed and told by outside what to do. And got into a lot of alternative, metaphysical, energy work, a lot of goddess work with embodying the feminine, honoring the feminine, what that means. And so I basically took all of that, and I was still in the fitness world. And, you know, off and on struggling with the bulimia my whole life. And about 3 years ago, my work started really evolving out of being a personal trainer and Nia teacher. And all of it started coming together because I never really was a personal trainer, but never really knew how to explain me. It was like, what do I do? So all of it started coming together, and it's really just a God thing or a goddess thing, if you want to say. So it just all started shifting, and I really started to put into words, if you will, how what I did reconnects brain and body so that you can choose your movement. You can choose how you show up in your body. It also teaches you that you can change and rewire your mental habits because you learn how to rewire your physical habits. And then same, rewiring mental, rewiring emotional, very much connected. And it all ties up with the spiritual, and shifting within yourself. So it all started just coming together. And I found a language to explain it and share it.
Excuse me to interrupt you. Just for me to understand the context of all of this. Were you having your business at that time, or were you working for someone else?
I've worked for other people off and on. I ran a small women's health club. I worked with corporate fitness centers. I was the head of a personal training department. So I've done those things, but I've mainly worked for myself.
And so how old were you when you started working for yourself?
16. I mean, literally, when you work in the gym business, when you're a personal trainer, you run your own schedule. So literally, I've pretty much run my own schedule my whole life. I mean, even
from a schedule perspective, but running a business has other implications as well. So having your own legal structure, when was that?
When I say it again, when I had my own legal structure?
Yeah, I mean, from your business, really.
Really, again, my whole life. I mean, yes, I worked for people, but I worked for myself. It was like it was kind of like sometimes I would be an employee, but it was just working at the company. I wasn't necessarily an employee, but I still had my own business.
Okay, I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. So there's not a delineation necessarily. Now, how long have I not worked for anybody? I teach a class at a YMCA right now. So does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does make sense. I wasn't clear.
That's cool.
You started in business very young, so that's also very interesting thing to know, because quite often I come along people who are more in a reconversion mode. But there are also, of course, young women who are just starting off, and it's interesting in a show like this where we we have this intention of inspiring women to do their thing, to show them that it's possible to start very early. So you don't have to wait. Great, great, excellent news.
Yeah.
So
I will add, Anya, that the last 2 years and really the last year have been a redefining of like really learning business, learning, how to bob and weave with sales, my taxes, all those structures that I never had super clean. So I will say that the last 2 years, specifically 1 year, has been really diving into that, just to be clear.
Yeah, and so that's an interesting point you're mentioning. I'm all about that. I have this corporate director of administration background, so I'm all into tools,
right,
and systems, and running a business, not an expensive hobby.
Right.
What did that change for you when you started structuring your business more?
Well, it's just super important, and it's part of what I teach women all the time, that the structure allows you to have more freedom, Yeah. So it's that container of, I have a business, body, mind, aligned fitness, DBA, embodied confidence. That's my structure. And, everything runs through that. And it gives me a container to be able to present myself to the world. Does that make sense?
Completely.
Cool. And and again, I teach people all the time as well that it's really learning how to play the game within the world we have set up, because we have agreed upon rules in this world.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to live in this world. You have to be grounded. You have to play. You can't be off flying everywhere, doing whatever you want all the time and be successful. It just doesn't work. And I know a lot of little airy-fairy people that try to do it, and it just doesn't work. You can't create from that space.
Mm-hmm.
You have to play in the world, grounded in your body, present, and working with what is instead of fighting against it. You'll never be successful if you're not going with the structure also.
So if we look at it from the angle of tips that you would give, what would you say that a woman who's starting off her business should absolutely do in order for it to be successful?
She should take risks.
Good.
She should be herself.
Mm-hmm.
She should get really clear within her message, who she is, what she's actually doing, if she really wants to do it or not. Super important. There's so many women out there that try to do these businesses of, whatever, because they think they should. And then it's like, I really hate this. I really don't want to do it. And some people need to work for people. Not everybody can be an entrepreneur. It just is what it is. You got to have balls or, I don't know, boobs. You gotta have guts and grace. There's gonna be work, and there's gonna be backing off, and there's gonna be always constant learning. So go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to bounce back on what you were saying about knowing whether you want to do something or not. And I can relate to it with another example, which is not even whether you want to be an entrepreneur or having a job. I choose to leave the corporate world and set up my own company.
Right.
But the interesting thing is that and that was 9 years ago, the interesting thing is that for financial security reasons, and because I had 25 years of corporate experience, everyone was telling me that I should work with the corporate world. So as an entrepreneur, work with the corporate world. And it took me something like, probably 6-7 years to admit, and I've really admitted it back in January only, that I didn't like working with the corporate world.
Right.
And so there I was being successful, but I had in fact recreated
Yeah.
the conditions that I had in the corporate world, i.e., not being happy, something is missing, and all that nagging
Yeah.
feeling. And I had recreated it myself. And so basically, I had let fear rule my life, and it had conditioned my choice of working with corporate. And so in January, I decided I completely stopped corporate. I don't want it anymore. And now I'm really having fun, real fun. Because before it was fake fun. But yes, it's really important to be clear about who we are, and it is okay to be flexible and change. So I just readapted. Interesting, very interesting point you're mentioning there.
It's actually required to be flexible and change.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. Species who don't adapt, we know what happened to them. So we're the same.
Say that again?
I said species who don't adapt die.
Yes, absolutely. So another part of my story with the women who make it happen, I sold my house this spring to be able to invest in my business and invest in myself and really grow my business in a very smart, structured, good way. It came down, and I loved my house so much. I loved my house. And it came down to, I could either have a house or I could have a life that I loved and I could live my dreams. So, it's that flexibility and that choice that opens all new doors, and what you're talking about the corporate structure. Isn't that funny how we do that to ourselves?
Absolutely.
I'm going to go do this different thing, but anyway.
But so basically what you're saying is that it is a matter of clarity, being very clear about your priorities, in fact, and with that, then make conscious choices. So be clear about what's most important to you. And for you, it's the lifestyle.
Yes. And if I had sold my house 2 years ago, it wouldn't have been a smart move. This year, it was, because of the trajectory that I'm on and the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm building. I'm about to go speak to a speakers boot camp in Atlanta in the middle of November, and to be able to go do that and get on bigger stages and really share my message and really be able to get myself out there. I wouldn't have been doing that 2 years ago. So it's all timing with staying flexible. Does that make sense?
That is also a form of reinvention. I had mentioned to you that I'm all about reinventing yourself, but that is a form of reinvention. So basically you made different choices, and with that you decided to take your business to the next level because that is what would give you the lifestyle you want.
Right. Yep.
So if we rewind a little bit, what would you say are the biggest challenges that you've been facing on that journey?
My biggest challenges, honestly, sales, and everything is sales. It's honestly my biggest challenge is, because I come from more of a metaphysical, all-inclusive background. So again, I became really clear 2 years ago that I needed to really marry the yin and the yang and the spirituality and the business. And so that's really what I've had to work the most on and shift. And so I'm really in the middle of dancing with building relationships, showing my value, not giving too much, and closing the sale, and it's such a dance for me to find that balance.
So what would you say, and I'll tell you something afterwards, what would you say is the key for you to move from that fear of sales or uncomfortability around sales to making it happen?
it's not an uncomfortability around sales. It's a dance within myself with how do I work this process the most effectively. Does that make sense?
So for you, it's a matter of efficiency here, there. It's not about how you feel about sales. Is that what I'm hearing?
It would probably be effectiveness rather than efficiency.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I see what I see what you mean.
How to be effective with sales. And, you know, I get, and I've gotten this for years, and this is what I'm dancing in figuring out, is I get over and over again, oh my God, you're amazing. You've changed my life. You're so inspirational. I'm not going to give you money. You know?
So who is your ideal client?
That's my biggest challenge.
I will ask
women, business owners.
I will ask you to repeat that, because I think that there must be an internet connectivity problem your end, because you disappeared. So Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I just had an so it's fine. Yeah, women business owners who are wanting to really change their lives, become more confident.
We are unlucky.
Want to do so that they can actually follow their passion. Huh?
We are unlucky because you're disappearing again. Could you do you have a headset by hand?
Do you want me to try the headset?
Yeah, maybe that works better. I don't know.
I don't think that's not going to change the internet, though.
Not the bandwidth, but sometimes it is impacting the quality of the audio sometimes. So I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'll grab it.
Yeah, because I'm hardwired here. I'm connected with a cable.
Okay.
So
I'll grab it.
These things happen sometimes. We are recording this with a program called Zoom, but when I use Skype, I always say that in our business, virtual business like that, international, worldwide, etc., that it is not Sky that is the limit, but Skype that is the limit, because when it doesn't work.
It's true. It is true. And I've had, client sessions on Skype that have been super frustrating.
So
yeah.
in any event, it seems to be back. So whether it's the internet connection itself that's back or the headset, I don't know. But so if you don't mind repeating again, I'm so sorry.
No, don't apologize. It was probably because I wasn't answering very clearly. So
that's a way to look at it.
That's how I see everything in life. Now, ask me the question again on yes.
So my question was around your ideal client, because in fact you were talking about those women who would say how fabulous you are and not willing to pay, and therefore I moved into, but who is your ideal client? Who are you working with?
My ideal client is the successful woman who will invest in herself, okay, to get what she wants in her life, in her business, in her body, okay? I really empower women to, like what you were talking about the corporate world, that's what you thought you should do. I work with women so that we save you 6 or 7 years by really honing into what your body's telling you that you really do want to do. So you're not wasting all that time, but you're really getting down to what you want having the confidence in yourself, finding your balance instead of what everybody else tells you should be balanced, taking care of your body, what works for you nutrition-wise, not works for you, mindset and possibilities. So my ideal client is the woman who really wants to love her body, be confident in herself, rock her life.
Okay. So it is selling to that type of people that is a dance for you. That's not that easy. Well, I mean, it is usually not easy for quite a lot of people.
Well, you know, again, my business is shifting and changing so much in the last year or two. I myself am having to shift and change and find those women.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So I'm doing that.
So sales is a challenge for you. What else? Is there anything else?
Yeah, taxes and money structure. I'd rather just not deal with it.
So do you outsource that?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah. That is the usual challenge with women who are starting, is that they keep, and I mean, I've done the same, is that they keep focusing on doing everything themselves, including things that they don't like. And which ends up being, it's draining, takes you so much more time, and that is valuable time that you are not out there trying to find clients, so you're not bringing in the money while you do that.
Right.
Yeah, I always say to my clients that the value of your hour, if that is higher than what you would pay someone else to do the jobs that you don't like doing, you should absolutely outsource it.
Yeah.
So in terms of delegation, of outsourcing, what do you outsource to? What type of things are you outsourcing to? So we know the taxes and the accounting.
I am the world's best delegator. I outsource my database, my newsletter, my website, my video. Obviously, I had somebody help me get really super clear about my branding. What else do I outsource? My bookkeeping and my taxes. So there you go.
That sounds the ideal world. So does that mean, so are these all, you didn't hire them, these are freelance people?
These are what?
Freelance people. They are not part of your team. You're not paying okay. And so do you have them work together as well? How do you have to cope with the notion of a team?
You know, I call them my team, but it's more just people that help me. I don't have, like, you know, people that I have to run under me yet. Yeah. I will, but it's more, you know, honestly, the people that work for me have been my clients and know what I do.
Okay.
So my newsletter girl, I always joke that she makes me look like I have the empire that I'm building already, you know, because she knows my work inside and out, and she's a writer.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. So they all communicate just because they will communicate with each other, not because I have a team that I make communicate.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's another stage of business development at some point. Yeah. When you start growing into that, and you just said yourself that you will be heading that way at some point. So super. So before I forget, it goes quickly, where can people find you?
My website is Body Mind Aligned Fitness, and if you can't remember that, it's Tracy Revell. CracyRevell.com. You can get me either way. There's a place on there to sign up for my newsletter. Mm-hmm. And if anybody from the show wants to contact me directly, I'm offering everybody a presence assessment and Unlocking Your Greatness follow-up session, accountability session for everybody that contacts me from your audience.
Do you want to give them a special code or whatever so that you know that they come from me? Would you?
Well, I would think if they say that they come from your radio show or from your interview.
Yeah. WWMTH.
Okay, so everybody remember that. If you email me, just say that you came from Agnes's show. What was it again, Agnes?
Women Will Make Things Happen. WWMTH.
WWMTH. Okay, cool.
So that's excellent. So maybe what you can do is drop me a quick email to say what it is you're offering so that I can refer to it when I will release the show. Okay,
great. Perfect. Yeah, presence assessment and Unlocking Your Greatness consultation follow-up accountability session. So do you have any other questions for me? Did I give you enough information?
Well, I mean, you did speak. Obviously, you spoke about your success as a business and now taking it to the next level. You did speak about your challenges around sales and tax, accounting, etc. The things you don't like, and you gave tips. So for me, that's perfect. unless you have anything else you want to add, you still can.
Well, I'm wondering what other things do you find common threads with women with our challenges with business?
Yes, absolutely. I think that there are the most common things that I see is confidence, self-worth, relationship to money. And what I mentioned at the beginning, this way of somehow thinking that running a business on its own is sufficient, that you don't need a structure, that you don't need to run it as a business. And I think that at some point when you leave a corporate job, for instance, as I did many years ago, you tend to go for your passion. And passion alone is not enough to run a business, even if you want a certain lifestyle. What I did love in what you were saying is this notion of structure is what gives you the flexibility, gives you the possibility to shape things in the way you want it. Which is exactly why I have called my business Success on Your Own Terms. So it's not success at any cost. Definitely not. It has to, for me, it's very clear that life and business need to support each other so that you can achieve what it is that you want to achieve, because success means different things to different people, and women in particular. So no, that there definitely are common threads. And people, what I like about you is that in your story that you started so early. And I wonder to what extent the fact that you were so young, we dare more when you're young, or we tend to dare more because we probably maybe are less conscious of consequences or whatever. I don't know if that's the case. But what I see quite often when it comes to reconversion, so you had already something and you want to do something else, whether it is going from a corporate job or not, doesn't matter, maybe a complete shift of companies or whatever, is that women are afraid to go there, which is really why I put this show together, so that women can be inspired by others to go for that dream, to make things happen. That's exactly it. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, it was great. I wanted to hear some of your insights and what you find doing this show and working with your clients. And to speak to the starting young, oh God, no. I was in total fear. Okay. I'm much more fearless and risk taking now. Mm-hmm. And that came with the confidence piece.
Yeah.
and really learning to find my personal power.
Yeah, that is something that I know less. The people I tend to work with are more in reinvention mode. So usually they are, you know, more over 40, if I can say, and sometimes even much further than that. So I'm less familiar with younger people other than my own kids that I see. My daughter definitely seems to be fearless. Not fearless, but she dares a lot. Doesn't mean that she's not in fear. I think that maybe that's something that I've transmitted to her, is that she's more using fear as a fuel rather than letting it paralyze her. Yeah, that does make a big difference. And that's what I tend to say to my clients as well. Tracy, thank you so much. This was wonderful. And so your interview will be online on my website for 1 week, after which it will be moved to the archives where people can still find it.
Okay.
And if you're interested yourself to listen, you know, the views of other women as well, there are something like 40, yeah, you're number 41. So there are 40 interviews before yours in the archives.
Do you do one a week?
Yes, I am enjoying it so much that I release once a week now. Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. That's great. Do you need? I mean, do you need to find women to talk to?
Oh, if you have people that you think are the right profile to inspire other women,
Okay.
they can go on my website. There is this in the navigation bar, this tab, WWMTH show, and there is a guest application form there. So I'm fully booked until end of November. But by all means, if you have anyone who you think fits the profile, absolutely go.
Great. Sounds
Thank
good.
you so much. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.